The Rebel King: How Burger King Sparked the Burger Wars. Founded in 1954 in Miami, Florida, Burger King emerged at a time when fast food was defining its identity and experimenting with business models. Originally called Instaburger King, the company was named after a kitchen machine, the Insta Broiler, that later proved unreliable, forcing early operational changes. Rather than copying existing frameworks, founders James McLemore and David Edgerton began refining their approach through experimentation, shaping a business that focused not only on speed but on how customers experienced fast food. One of the company's earliest strategic decisions involved rethinking the restaurant environment. While many competitors focused on quick transactions and minimal seating, Burger King invested in indoor dining spaces that encouraged people to stay longer and treat fast food as a casual meal instead of a brief stop, bringing it closer to a traditional diner experience while still maintaining counter service. This change influenced ordering behavior, as longer visits often led to larger purchases. At the same time, convenience remained essential, and drive-through service was incorporated to give patrons flexibility depending on their needs. In food preparation, Burger King adopted flame grilling, a method that introduced greater operational complexity but created a distinctly different product. Instead of simply cooking burgers quickly, the company aimed to recreate the familiar taste of a backyard barbecue, bringing a more authentic, fire-cooked flavor into a fast food setting. The open flame added aroma, texture, and a slightly smoky character, setting its burgers apart from flat-grilled alternatives in a highly competitive market at the time. This approach required specialized equipment, higher energy use, and additional training, making it a deliberate strategic choice rather than a shortcut. In 1957, the company introduced the Whopper, a larger burger designed to feel like a complete meal, reinforcing its emphasis on both substance and speed. Another defining feature of Burger King's model was flexibility at the point of order, a daring move in an industry built on strict standardization. Consumers were encouraged to adjust ingredients to their personal preferences, requiring employees to respond in real time rather than follow a rigid assembly process. This philosophy was later captured in the slogan, "Have it your way," which reflected a broader operational mindset and a shift toward customer-driven service across locations worldwide. In contrast to the highly standardized systems developed by early chains like White Castle and later perfected by McDonald's, Burger King positioned itself as a more adaptable alternative, prioritizing choice and product identity over strict uniformity. As the company expanded through franchising, this balance between structure and operational freedom began to shape its global presence in increasingly visible ways across multiple international markets. Burger King adapted its menus and formats to local preferences while maintaining its core identity built around flame grilling and customization. Over time, it established itself as a serious competitor in the fast food industry, proving that success did not belong to a single system. Instead, Burger King showed that a brand could challenge dominant models not by copying them, but by offering a different experience, one built on adaptability, strong product positioning, and a willingness to take calculated risks. In doing so, it transformed from a growing chain into a persistent underdog and a powerful rival on the global stage. Fun fact: the Burger Wars, signature burgers clash. Although many people believe that McDonald's was the first company to introduce a signature burger, that distinction actually belongs to Burger King. In 1957, it unveiled the Whopper, a large flame-grilled standout burger designed to be the centerpiece of the meal. Decades earlier, in 1921, White Castle had already created its small uniform sliders, but these were not considered a true flagship item because they were not promoted as a single standout product. Instead, they formed part of a highly standardized model built on repetition. Surprisingly, just 10 years later, in 1967, McDonald's launched the Big Mac, a balanced, structured, and highly controlled iconic burger developed for efficiency and consistency, marking the beginning of the so-called Burger Wars, a rivalry primarily between Burger King and McDonald's. The contrast was clear. The Whopper represented size, smoky flavor, and customization, while the Big Mac stood for precision, uniformity, and operational control. Burger King emerged as the bold, expressive underdog, whereas McDonald's remained the disciplined, system-driven leader. In the end, the hamburger did not follow a single path. It evolved into two competing visions of fast food, each shaping how the world eats today, from restaurants and cultures to everyday meals across the globe.